Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I'm sorry I'm late. I've been doing these posts every other week as of late, and I actually forgot it was Sunday. On Sunday, plus I had a trip and I was a little tired, so I forgot. But this week's post is another superfood post, and it is still about reishi. I was actually going to not have another one about reishi, but this one caught my eye as I was doing some research on for the other ones, and I thought it was very interesting. It's called Reishi regulates metabolism via the gut-brain axis. So the reason for these, I don't mind writing about superfoods. Are they going to replace colostrum, mammal milk, yogurt, kefir? No, not by a long shot. In order for you to take advantage of food and superfoods, you do have to have a healthy microbiota development. And to date, colostrum is still the premier method to achieve that. So, because as we know, the improperly formed microbiota affects vitamin biosynthesis, and inability to harvest energy. So, proper development before you begin any food as an infant is crucial. And these superfood studies are helping to elucidate that. So that being said, I believe all of these, except for maybe one, were my studies. One might have included a human study, since that was now, 6 weeks ago. I didn't check that precisely, but I believe they were all my studies. Now, I would prefer human studies. In my book, I generally did not include mice only or animal only studies. But you would think that because it's a food, it could be studied in humans. But in some cases, the animals have to be sacrificed. So that's not possible. So sometimes you just have to concede that they do realize what might transmit to humans when all the studies are completed. The drawback of mice is that all mice have natural development, so they are generally termed healthy mice, and then they use a model to appropriate a condition, and or they knock out a gene to make them more quote unquote human-like. But again, sometimes you have to concede that the animal has to be sacrificed to do the study. And that's just not possible, even though it's a food and a human study. Sometimes there's just biopsies and too much. I'll get to the next part in a moment. So that's the caveat with mice. Sometimes with rats, they have I don't even know if you can say they have natural development. Rats are bred to be super rats. So when it comes to like toxicology study results, they aren't always there is criticism that the results, the toxicology results are skewed because the rats are super rats. They're genetically bred to be super rats. They're not genetically bred to be super rats. Well, actually, it is genetically. But anyway, so what I have been noticing is that these studies are pretty rounded and encompassing. And when I don't know if that's specifically because they're looking at metabolic syndrome, gut health, or not, but they are looking at microbiota composition, metabolites, hormones, gut-brain axis, systemic circulatory system, sometimes bone marrow. So these studies are actually pretty involved, which is actually a good thing. And there's a lot that you can find in them if you take the time to read the actual study. But regarding metabolic syndrome and metabolic health, my interest in that is due to the fact that this condition in particular, occurs regardless of whether someone was breastfed or not. It was already having impacts on human health before the age of not breastfeeding or formula feeding, any type of formula feeding. So that's why my interest in metabolic health, because it's now reached a crisis point, and I generally don't have any problems about talking about superfoods, provided you understand that all food requires a healthy gut so that you can achieve the fullest benefit. So this study in particular, one of the things that struck me about it is that it, in particular, added the parameter of leptin, whereas the other studies pretty much, I don't think they did. They, of course, looked at all those parameters, microbiota, metabolites, et cetera, but this one included leptin. And because of Dr. Robert Lustig and his studies on the children with brain tumors, I do believe he did use a medicine that affected leptin in particular, and that's why I included this particular component in this study in this post. So it's a metabolic superfood. A 2020 study created an obese mouse model with a high sugar and fat diet for 60 days. Then a Reishi extract supplement for 35 days. It tracked changes in the liver. Well, that's another thing I forgot to say about them being encompassing. It looks at the liver, the colon, the intestines, the spleen, the kidneys, and the brain. So it tracked changes in the liver, adipose tissue, colon, intestines, spleen, kidneys, and brain, metabolism, transcription, microbiome, and microbiota, including composition. So the results revealed that reishi extracts could reduce weight, alter lipid serum levels, improve the microbiota, and mitigate organ damage from the unhealthy diet, while enhancing leptin pathways in the hypothalamus for better metabolism. This suggests that reishi extracts benefit the microbiota, gut liver, and microbiota gut-brain connections, activating leptin-related signaling for metabolic improvement. So some of the key effects achieved. This little paragraph here reports the results of how this condition is surging in China, and reports indicate that over 450 million Chinese suffer from metabolic conditions today. Although a lot of things contribute to metabolic disorders, they don't fully explain China's higher disease rates compared to developed nations. I don't think they're necessarily higher. They're pretty high all around the world today. Strategies for prevention and treatment are needed. And because reishi is a long-use supplement in China, in Southeast Asia, they're looking at reishi. So the hypothalamus plays a vital role in regulating feeding and body weight. Research focuses on specific neurons in this region, like expressing certain proteins, and these neurons control food intake, foster bonding in mice, and respond to leptin. Reishi extracts activate pathways related to metabolism and central nervous system regulation, showing promise in improving metabolic syndrome symptoms in high sugar, high fat diet fed mice. And then a high fat, high sugar diet significantly alters the microbiota and damages organs. Several studies have affirmed the bidirectional regulation between the central nervous system and the gastrointestinal system, crucial for functions like intestinal motility, absorption, and immune balance. The microbiota forming the gut-brain axis is vital in this system, including influencing central nervous system functions and gastrointestinal stability. In diseases like IBDs, metabolic syndrome, neuropsychiatric traits, and cancer, gut microbiota changes are notable. In this study, certain gut microbiota groups were significantly altered by a high sugar, fat diet, but improved after treatments, suggesting potential prebiotic effects. The disruption of the delicate balance in this intricate ecosystem, known as dysbiosis, is linked to various human illnesses, and any disturbance in the interaction between the host and the microbiota can trigger or worsen disease development. So, yeah, that's key to understanding. And then, how does this work regarding leptin? Leptin, just going to tell you what leptin is here. Leptin is a protein hormone predominantly made by adipocytes. Its primary role is likely to regulate long-term energy balance. As one of the major signals of energy status, leptin influences appetite, satiety, and motivated behaviors oriented towards the maintenance of energy reserves. That reminds me of Dr. Robert Lustig and these children. Once this was affected, they got off the couch and they were like their old self again. Leptin helps your body maintain your normal weight on a long-term basis. So regarding leptin in this study, an aging obese mouse model was created to mimic via a 60-day high-fat diet, high-fat, high-sugar diet, and subsequently the mice received daily doses of alcohol extracts from different forms of reishi for 35 days. The reishi extract treated groups exhibited reduced body weights, total cholesterol, and pathway expression. Microbiota analysis showed altered abundances of various groups, indicating reishi extracts mitigated gut microbiota, small intestine, and liver alterations caused by the high sugar and high fat diet. So, the study concludes that a high sugar and fat diet impacts multiple systems and organs, and reishi fruit body extracts improve the microbiota gut-liver and microbiota-gut-brain axes, enhancing central nervous system regulation for metabolic improvement. So that's pretty much it. You can buy reishi extract if you desire. You can learn how to make your own reishi extracts, alcohol extracts. You can try fermented reishi, but I pretty much keep it as a superfood and mix it in my daily drink because I have, in particular, the powder, and I do not have time to do any of that. And whatever it's going to do regarding fermenting, it has everything it needs, including the specific probiotics that were used in the previous article I mentioned, the correct temperature, etc., etc., etc. The benefits of fiber in a powder probably aren't there anymore. So it's just pretty much a superfood. And that's how I take it until, if I notice any benefits in particular, which I haven't, I will let you know. I will say I just started this since I began writing these posts. And I have taken reishi in the past. I can't say, and I did take it for quite a long time, either right when I began immune therapy, natural oral immune therapy, or shortly before. I can't say I noticed these benefits, but again, we don't know the sound. We only know the effects of diet on these mice, and we know that they did have a healthy development. So the effects of diet were post their healthy development that led to their poor microbiota status and metabolic syndrome. So I cannot attest that my results were similar, but I do not have a problem writing about superfoods and how they might benefit you. So that being said, it's up to you whether you would like to try it or not, and I'll probably give it as long as I think is necessary, or until I run out of my Reishi, and then I'll report back to you if I notice any of these benefits in particular. But I just add them to my daily drink, as I do almost every superfood I try. Okay, everyone, that's about it for this week, and I thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to I'll be moving on to the next superfood in the next post. Have a great day. Thank you again. Bye.